Hello again, Daquan Henry here with another market update video. As always, every single month, the Toronto Real Estate Board does release some stats and statistics around what's going on with real estate everywhere in the Greater Toronto Area. And always, I'm going to do my best to summarize all the key points that I think are very important if you are someone looking to buy or sell real estate. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. Starting with the year-over-year summary for the month of January in 2026, we had just over 3,000 sales. This is down 20% from 2025 last year. I'm going to show some other charts just around sales and just to really speak about how significantly low this figure is versus other years prior. But it is important to note that we are down 19% in sales, which is a lot. This decrease really helps us understand that buyers are truly not happy with what they're seeing out there on the market, mostly when it comes to prices. And it really helps us understand that buyers are definitely waiting on the sidelines. When we get to new listings, we are seeing a similar pattern with being down 13% year over year. I really feel that this is because sellers are taking a look about the sales that actually are happening out there. While there's not that many, they are seeing the sales that are happening out there and they're not happy with where those prices are at. I feel like there is a common sentiment I'm seeing boots on the ground where sellers are hoping and waiting that the spring will be better or later in the year will be better or prices will start rebounding. But unfortunately, from what we're seeing right now, there's no evidence that that is actually something that's going to happen in the near future. When we get to active listings, we are still starting to see many homes start to pile up, as now we are 8% higher than last year with just under 18,000 active listings on the market right now. The fall in average price is also something that's very shocking to see, as we have now dipped below $1 million for the average price in the GTA. I'm going to show some other stats on why this figure is quite significant and not something that we thought we'd see. I am going to show another chart around average price here just to show really how far we've dropped from the peak of the market. Then when we get to average days on market, honestly, it's no surprise that we are up 20%. Obviously, all these stats do tie into one another. And the overarching idea is that sales are definitely down. There's less transactions happening. More sellers are coming to the market trying to get their price, most unsuccessfully, because we are starting to see those average prices still grind down. So naturally, when we see all of these things happen, it's just an indicator that we are starting to see demand still soften while supply increase. So now we have this massive influx still of all of these new listings, all these homes on the market, and not enough buyers to get them sold. So naturally, this is going to have more homes sit on the market longer. And I do still think this is going to be something that continues over the next little bit. When we start to look at some of the more specific stats in the 416, 905, and just among all inventory types, it is very clear to see that condos are still taking a beating right now. I mean, detached, semi, and townhomes, they are also taking a beating. When we look at condos in the 905 down 30%, that is down a considerable amount. If you are a condo seller right now in these areas, you know how hard it is to find any buyer. On the other hand, if you are a buyer right now, it is more important than ever to really understand the market that you are buying in, because any home that you are actually considering purchasing right now, it is important you do everything in your power to negotiate and get a good deal, because we're not too sure where prices are going to be in a few months. But it does not look like they're going to be higher than where they are right now. Hopping back into that average price conversation, obviously in 2022, this is when we saw peak pricing across the GTA. And since then, we've seen prices really start to grind down. Really no indication yet if we are at any bottom. The reason why I like to show this chart here, looking at average sales over the last 10 years, one, because we just dipped down below that $1 million mark, which we haven't really seen since 2021. Back when we saw massive price drops in 2022 to 2023, this was really focused around, in my opinion, the changes in mortgage rates. This is when the Bank of Canada started their rate hiking cycle. And this is when we saw prices change pretty quickly because of mortgage approvals, mortgage rates, and just overall restrictions around borrowing costs. After that, we saw prices start to fluctuate as people were really deciding where they thought prices were going to be. There were many sellers who were very stubborn around price over the last few years, thinking that, the market was going to rebound to how it was in 2022. But now I feel like sellers have truly realized that prices likely are not going to bounce back anytime soon, and definitely not in the same way as it did before COVID. So now we're almost in this newer, slower price discovery where we're really starting to see how low some people are able to sell at. And I think this is something that is definitely going to continue at least for the rest of the year. This is another chart that I thought was very interesting, and it looks at the number of active listings over the last 10 years. This little purple dot represents this year, as we're only in January, of course. And if you look closely, you can see in January, this is the most active listing we've had over the last 10 years. Even last year was a record-breaking year for most inventory, this blue line here at the top, where every month we've had more active listings than the previous years, going back to 2016. And now looking at this year, we are a little bit, but still more inventory than we did last year, which was already a record-breaking year when it came to active listings. So if this does continue, it's going to further signal that there is more supply than there is demand, and these homes are going to sit on the market for longer and likely sell for less. Lastly, this is one of my favorite charts that I put together because I feel like it really shows the ugly truth of looking for a home in this market. This solid blue line tracks the percentage of homes that are selling over their list price. Typically, when we see that happens, it means that there's an over demand for homes or specific homes where multiple buyers are bidding against each other. When we see those types of bidding wars and the prices are pushed above where they're listed at. And this dotted line is the same as the chart that I showed before, showing the average price of a home over the years. As you can see from before, from 2016, we saw prices slowly start to increase and then of course hit the peak in 2022, and we've been grinding down since. As prices start to really climb and hit their peaks, we start to see this solid blue line spike up, and in 2022, almost 80% of homes that sold were selling over their list price. In markets that were more balanced, that was closer to 20% of homes selling over list. And if we fast forward to today, that figure is much lower than the peak at 15% of homes selling over list price versus 80. The reason why I said this shows the ugly truth of buying a home right now is because if you are a buyer shopping for a home right now, you know that those premium homes, the top 10, 15% homes that check all the boxes, have the best finishes in the best areas, just overall a lot better than the average home, you are still competing. And I find that that is very confusing for both buyers and sellers for multiple reasons. If you're a buyer, the reality is that yes, there's lots of inventory. Yes, there's lots of homes coming onto the market there, but the homes that look the best still have a lot of demand on them. So if you do want to purchase the best home on the street, you will likely still be competing with people right now, and you might not get the price that you're looking for. And on the other hand, if you are a seller right now and you just saw your neighbors sell for, over list, and you heard about them getting a whole bunch of offers, and you're wondering why your home that's also on the market isn't getting this type of attention, the reality is your home is not in that top 10, 15% that still has a lot of that demand. So you are not getting the same treatment from buyers. So to summarize that, if you're a seller, your home might not be as good as you think it is. And if you're a buyer, if you absolutely love that home, chances are there's 10 other people who also love that home. After watching this video, if you had any questions at all, I would be more than happy to connect with you. Feel free to book a call with me using the link below, or feel free to drop your questions in the comments below and I'll do my best to get to it right away. If you are working towards any type of decision in real estate, whether it's purchasing, investing, or selling, my team and I, we do work across the GTA and would be more than happy to help you with whatever your real estate journey is. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.